beautiful winter day in the North Country. This is my shop. Used to be full of cows. Now it's full of my stuff. These are my canvases. Honestly, I kind of like them how they are. Well, at the beginning they were way up in the air, doing a poor job of keeping the snow and rain out of a barn. This is what they look like now. You can see the ribs are flattened out, just with a hammer on the concrete floor, with me on my knees, thinking about something that annoys me on this piece. The second of three of these standalone backlit sort of glorified lamps that I'm working on. You know, what's nice about this metal is the sort of patina it acquires over the ages, acting as a roof for a barn. That texture, that surface is really nice. I like that. That's one of the many reasons that I like reusing material instead of ordering material. So far so good though. I'm having a lot of fun. This is my palette. These are my tools. Soapstone, little brushes that I've cut down to act as erasers. Little brass wire brush. I don't know what that's doing in there. Another little cut-off brush. That's all I need to do these. Decide on my design, whatever it might be. Maybe a spoon bill, something like that. It's kind of hard to see once I start cutting because I have to wear shade 5 welding glasses to protect my eyes some from the arc from the plasma cutter. So I usually have a headlamp, a bunch of lights around me. You know, the wall art, I often do a drawing in a book, you know, to get the idea before I come and sit down and do the cutout. But for these, I'm doing what I rarely, if ever, do, is design right on the material. And I'm surprised how well it's working out. Pleasantly surprised. So it's hybrid techniques. Most assuredly not pure blacksmithing, but not something you could get to with just fabricating. It's blacksmithing mixed with fabricating. Makes art. At least my kind. One of my kinds of art. That's the anvil. Very nice anvil. There's my coal forge. This is my forging hammer. It's a Alfred Haberman style. Nice and squat balance. It's not as hard on your joints as something that's more stretched out, like this one. That one's a little more stretched out. I notice it works my wrist a little more, but that reach is very nice for some things. So, I have 2 hammers. I have way more than 2 hammers. I wouldn't call myself a master blacksmith. I am an artist who uses blacksmithing techniques often to get where I want to go. I mean, I have a big affinity for blacksmithing methods. I'm not a machinist, not that great a fabricator, not that fantastic a blacksmith, but I enjoy it. I'm pretty good at it, and it gets me where I want to go. I was using forging to develop some of these table bases. Forging iron, blacksmithing is heating up iron to get it plastic so that you can move it around with a hammer and an anvil and shape it into the shapes you want. Here's my record player for when I'm doing my designs. Very important. I was listening to some Stefan Grappelli when I was doing my last design. Manitas de Plata, for those of you that like flamenco. The music helps me sort of forget my self-consciousness, you know. It was it was pretty integral. When my wife saw me carrying the record player out to the shop, she was pretty scandalized. But I wouldn't be talked out of it. It's my record player. I might look ridiculous on the floor banging on a rusty, dusty piece of 100-year-old barn roof. Keeps you moving. I was a painter for years, living in Texas, living in Colorado, living in Boston. I didn't come to doing metalwork till my late 20s, and I didn't come to do these things, these cutout things, until my late 30s. But because we're going to be approaching this exhibit more like an artist residence, I'm going to continue developing my ideas for the duration of the show. Back when I started, I was also doing a lot of architectural work in the city, and that took up the lion's share of my time, sort of hustling to make the rent and doing big stuff for people. So it wasn't until I came up here where lifestyle's a little quieter that I had more time to do this kind of stuff. It's sort of like a windfall to be able to try out. I wouldn't have done anything like this if it wasn't for this program. And I'm going to do a bunch of other stuff that I wouldn't have tried otherwise. Yeah.
TAUNY is a community project made possible by the participation of many. We look forward to having you join us.